babies.
Thank you, Irene.
Thank you, Irene.
Never say thank you to Irene unless you hear her say recording in progress. Lesson learned.
I only heard Ray say it, and I just followed his dumb lead.
Whose mistake is that?
Yeah, that's my own.
Bills.
That's my own fault. I apologize. It was a big mistake.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to Irene.
Lessons learned. Don't say it. No, just leave it at that.
What? The weekend is upon us. What? It was grooming day, and
Yeah, I know what day it is.
okay.
We all know what day it is.
It's your anniversary. Congratulations.
No, yesterday was my anniversary.
Whatever fucking day it was. When's
Thanks,
this? When are you going out for cigarettes? Come on, I'll take you.
What's a 1 year wedding anniversary, but like a 35-year relationship anniversary look like?
It's year 2.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's whatever
Rich,
year it is
have you
minus the pandemic, so it's 1.
Okay.
Rich, have you ever seen like an old Italian woman make handmade pasta?
In person? I don't know. That's a weird request. Now I have a picture in my head of you in a fucking kitchen full of smoke.
That's what I got.
Like
White
yellow
beater
paneled cabinets and just some woman
No.
making pasta.
Hold on, I'm
naked
talking
with,
about
like big old tits hanging down for Bill. Like, how you want your pasta, Billiam?
It was going to be a limp penis joke, but you ruined it.
Got it, no problem. This is welcome to Sim Mind Sports Show. Friday headline, September 17th. It's Citizenship Day, Bill. Welcome to the show.
I don't know why it's funny. It's just funny.
You can never get citizenship in certain countries. That's why it's funny. But you can always get citizenship down at White Birch Brewing in Nashville, New Hampshire. Ray, address, please.
460 Amherst Street.
Good side of Amherst Street. Get on down to White Birch Brewing. They got football this weekend, obviously. They got the flat screen down there. Wicked sick flat screen. They got wicked sick pints, wicked sick flights, wicked sick hats. And everyone down there is wicked sick. If you can't get down there, check out your local beer store. Wherever you get it, tell them the Simple Minds boys sent you. White Birch Brewing.
Why are we so wicked tonight?
I don't know. You get on a roll and just go. I'm tired.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of weird shit that comes out of my mouth tonight. Like the weird shit we put into. Never mind. We're gonna start.
I love that slit.
That's a beep.
No, it's not. What do you mean?
We're going to start Red Sox Billy baseball. The Patriots obviously have their game against the Jets. We'll get to them. But the Red Sox are in a playoff race, if no one has noticed. 14 games left in the season, which seems a little bit bananas. Can I just say right off the bat that I wish I was more excited that the Red Sox were in a hunt for the playoffs and every game for the rest of the year was going to be a playoff game. But I don't know if it's a combination of them playing on the West Coast the last couple of days and games starting at 10 o'clock, which nobody's going to be able to watch, or the fact that they pissed away the division at the deadline. I heard today, and I don't know if we've gone over this, but Kyle Schwarber didn't play until you were already 5 games back of the Rays in the division, and you signed him when you were winning the division. So
traded for him. Yeah.
Traded for him. So that, I don't know. That tells you all needed. So I don't know if it's a combination of all those things, but I wish I was more, or it's just the fact that baseball is #dead to me. I wish I was more excited about it. I'm trying. Hopefully when they get back to the East Coast and actually watch the games, it'll be better. Speaking of that, we're still on Dicky's path to the playoff. We're right on pace, Raymond. 2 out of 3 from the Mariners. I'm telling you. 2 out of 3 for the Mariners. Now, technically, you're out of the playoffs right now. The Blue Jays have been on an absolute tear. Percentage points, you're out, but you're tied with the Yankees and Blue Jays. Outside looking in. However, we've been talking about it. You got 9 games with the Orioles and the Nats coming up, plus 2 with the Mets. We'll see what happens with them.
Yeah.
And you got 3 with the Yankees.
Mets
so your path is there. The Yankees play garbage too. They got the Twins, Orioles, and Rangers, and the Blue Jays should take a step back in the standings. You would think if the Red Sox and Yankees handle their business against the garbage, they got 6. The Blue Jays have 6 games against the Rays in their next 9. They should realistically take a step back unless the Rays take their foot off the gas down the stretch here. So the path is there, Billiam. The path is there. You got to take care of the shit. How do you think Cora manages it down the stretch here?
You got to go all in. You can't just sit back. The race is too tight. Like you said, you're percentage points out of the wild card right now. You have 9 winnable games against the Nationals and the Orioles starting tomorrow. So, I mean, these are the games you need to win. This is going to win you the wild card spot. Get that number 1 seed. Go for it all. Run your fucking pitching is the best, like you did in the playoffs. I think and then there's rumors you're going to hear it now that it's basically an all hands on deck approach. Guys like Chris Sale or anything like that only go 2-3 innings. Guys are going to start pitching on their off days, which should be bullpen days. And that's where you saw it. I think you're going to see a lot of that going forward. Short starts from these starters, and then you're going to kind of piggyback them up. I mean, you got to go for it. You got to go all in. I mean, it's basically, 14 playoff games right now before you get to the playoffs, just to get a 1-game playoff. Like, that's the biggest thing. Just to get a 1-game playoff, you have to basically play 14 games, and you can't take your foot off the gas. You can't underestimate the Orioles team, which you should sweep, but they just swept the Yankees, or 3 out of 4 out of the Yankees last weekend. So, I mean, they're playing pretty well, and they lost 2 out of 3 just recently too this week. But I mean, they've been playing well against the Yankees too. So, I mean, you can't really sleep on them, but you should sweep these teams, and you should lock yourself up when the last 5 games. You got a series against the Yankees, and that's it. I mean, it should hopefully be over by then, because the Yankees are just playing so fucking bad. So teams like the Twins and the Rangers can really jump on it. They went 13 games in a row, somewhere double digits right after when they got Anthony Rizzo and all that shit. And then they've been on a nosedive ever since. Their team is very, very fucking talented, and they're nosediving.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned it. I've mentioned it. The Yankees were not as good as that stretch after the deadline. The Red Sox were not as bad as that stretch after the deadline. The Blue Jays have underachieved basically since Joe Carter hit the fucking home run. So, they're always going to be a threat. I just think I've been saying this, Raymond, for how long? The schedule is going to dictate the way this is going to come out. And you're just looking at the next 2 weeks, and the Red Sox, like you just said, Bill, the Red Sox should take care of business here. And I sneaky think, Ray, that Yankee series will be the clincher. You don't even have to get to the Nats. If you take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees, if you handle your business against the Orioles, you take 2 out of 3 from the Yankees, you should shore up one of those spots at least, especially with the way the Yankees are playing now.
I totally agree. But to get to Bill's point about going all in, my biggest thought is, what about the nerds? If Chris Sale is pitching well and he's at 80 pitch count, are the nerds going to tell Cora, hey, take him out because he's at his pitch count, or, Valdi or anything like that? You don't ever know. These nerds have been taking over the game, man.
I don't think Chris Sale, if he's pitching that good, I think Chris Sale's one of those guys who will tell Alex Cora to go fuck yourself. I'm staying in the game. Guys like Evaldi don't have that power. Erod, Whitlock, all these guys that are starters, Pivetta, they don't have that. Chris Sale's a fucking ace of the staff for a reason. I think if it's let me finish. You've seen it. You saw it in 2018 when he was starting early in the season and dominating. He was telling Cora, no, I'm not coming out. Like, he's not going to come out of these games unless
coming after injury. This is like an injury thing. It's not like
they've been ramping him up, and we'll see. I guess we'll just see what's going to happen, because he's been out with COVID. He's supposed to come back tonight, or I'm hoping he comes back on Saturday, because I'll be at that game. So I'm hoping to get a Chris Sale start out of it. But
the thing is too, is that real quick, Rich, fucking A, Bill screwed my chain of thought, but the bullpen, it sucks. So if Chris Sales is dominant and then they take him out because the nerds doing the math and said, oh shit, he's almost at that pitch count, we got to take him out, this bullpen has been the weakest point of this whole team. So I feel like the nerds need to take a step back. Cora needs to manage this like he wants to and have full reins.
I want to get
hold on real quick before we go to the bullpen. Chris Sale's one of those guys too you're not worried about him facing the order 3 or 4 times. He's a guy that you're going to want to go deep into games. He's not, again, the younger guys, the metrics going to the 3rd time through the order. I don't think Sale falls under that. I mean, yeah, coming off an injury, yeah, you might pull him out at 80, 90 pitches, but I think if he's in a groove, you want to get him in the 7th, 8th inning. Especially if it's an all hands on deck kind of thing going into, try to get into the playoffs.
Did you say deck?
Yeah, all hands on deck.
Oh, I thought you said dick. Sorry. Go ahead.
You always have dick on your brain.
Oh, that was.
But no, I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying, if it's an all hands on deck thing, like if you can get a long outing on your starter, yeah.
All hands on Dick is the only thing I can think of now. Like just like playing the game at the end
Just
of the
think of
baseball
Irene.
bat.
Just think of Irene's baby hands.
Hands on Dick. I'm sorry, Bill, to ruin your thought there.
No,
Let me
it's
just
all
say
right.
this. Ray brings up a good point about management because what you're saying about Chris Sale is probably true. And Alex Cora, the way he handled his pitching staff and his bullpen in 2018 certainly went against a lot of trends that the Nerds would bring in. Heimblum wasn't here. Heimblum's staff wasn't here. The management that what the Red Sox are dealing with now was not here. We watched and saw what they did at the deadline based off they didn't think their team was good enough to invest in. So
Which pisses me off. That's another thought. That
I'm not
we need to
putting
get into
anything
that.
past them. I'm not putting anything past management coming down and tying one of Alex Cora's hands behind his back, saying Chris Sale can't go past the sixth. I'm not putting it past them. I would probably lean towards your way and bet that that won't happen, but we haven't seen a Red Sox pitcher go into the eighth inning, starting pitcher go into the eighth inning. I don't think all year. Evaldi's got to the seventh.
Yeah, he's got a 7 a couple times.
I don't think we've seen a starter
Erod
go to
go?
the eighth.
Didn't Erod go?
No, I think Evaldi did like 7 1/3. I
All
think
right,
he
see
did.
where this conversation is going. We're trying to find one time where a guy went to the
Yeah.
eighth inning. And
No,
remember,
I know what you're saying.
Heimblum and his staff pulled Blake Snell in the World Series in the sixth inning and lost them a World Series. So keep that in mind. And that brings me to the bullpen and your point, Ray. The bullpen does kind of suck. Fucking Ryan Brazier and his cocked neck is back on the Red Sox. Somehow, this fucking guy is back on the Red Sox. I hate this fucking guy. Matt Barnes will be back. He's looked like shit since they took the sticky icky away, frankly, and since the deadline. Ottavino has been the same Ottavino all year. He's been up and down.
Wins. He won both.
He
won both the series games in Seattle. Ottavino, but both wins.
Yeah, try to let me finish and then you go, Bill. Ottavino, nice pickup in Seattle. Fucking
see what you did to me? Payback's a bitch, motherfucker.
All hands on Dick.
All hands on Dick, baby.
What do you think they're doing with the bullpen, Bill? And do they? Is it just a situation where Cora picks his 4 or 5 guys and goes Whitlock, Ottavino, Barnes, Brazier,
Robles probably. I mean, Hansel and Gretel might have it. I know, but he's saving. He got a couple saves, but ideally, you want to hopefully slide Barnes back into that closer role, and then it sets up Ottavino kind of pitch what you've really been seeing him in. The one he pitched an inning in a third, the last game, kind of got the win there. Pitched really good, a couple strikeouts. So I mean, that's where you want. And then Garrett Whitlock in a lot more high pressure situations. I'd slide him right at your 7th, honestly. But I don't know if Cora trusts him that much, and especially if
sorry to interrupt you, but who else are you going to trust?
the Brazier and the Robles, and I think those. Yeah, no, dude, I'm on your train of thought. I just feel like if it just look at this workload Whitlock's in the situation he's been in, it's not a ton of super high situations. So we'll see. I mean, but if you can get something out of Barnes to 90% of what he was early in the year before the sticky went away, I mean, he stabilizes that back end. You're not going to start worrying about a lot of these fucking extra inning games if you can get a stopper in the back, and they don't have it right now. And if he can return, that's going to shore up a lot of weaknesses, but I don't have a lot of hope that he is, but I mean, he gets there,
Yeah. What about Garrett Richards? What about Garrett Richards?
Garrett Richards right now has been pitching
okay.
He's been sneaky okay, and especially if you're thinking about long men, if you do make a run in the playoffs, Garrett Richards probably a guy you want there. You're not going to put Martin Perez, honestly, who just came off the COVID list. I just think his move to the bullpen's been kind of like seamlessly, and I think he's pitched well. I thought he pitched well after Tanner Hoek yesterday. Yesterday, after he only lasted 4 innings, and that's a big knock on him. He can't go long in these games at all. So, I mean, if he continues to pitch, you're going to continue to need one of those guys, and no one trusts Martin Perez. So, I mean, Garrett Richards is, he could be your long man out. And, if you get something out of him, to think about how they use Evaldi, Sale, all those starters in 2018. I'm not saying he's going to be great at it, but if you got a guy that you could throw in there 7th, 8th inning to get to your closer, if Barnes is there, I mean, that's the hope that you're getting Richards. It's just a hope you get a spark, and you've kind of seen a little bit of it.
Imagine that, Ray. Garrett Richards after this entire season of the no jacket, the sticky crying, the $10 million for this guy that just flat out sucks. He comes and he's a key part of your bullpen.
Can you just
into your bullpen to get into the fucking playoffs?
Dude, that would be crazy.
That's crazy. That would be the greatest storyline going into
what an arc.
Rich,
what an arc.
Look at Evaldi. Honestly, look at Evaldi when they traded for him in 2018. He started okay as a starter, got taken out of the rotation, and I think out of necessity in the playoffs, they're like, okay, we're going to kind of start you, and then he caught fire. I'm not saying Garrett Richards is going to do that, but if you can get something impactful in the late innings in a playoff run, I mean, that shores up your bullpen so well. I'm not going to try to compare the two, but that's a hope is that that trajectory.
Garrett Richards is not going to be 2018,
and he doesn't throw 101 miles an hour, which is
no. But if you, I understand what you're saying. If you can try and fill some of that role, real quickly, try not to Billy Rambles this. Is Nathan Eovaldi? Could Nathan Eovaldi be the MVP of this team?
Fuck.
Let me give you the reason. Really quickly, we can revert back to this. Obviously, Devers, JD, Bogarts, the big bats in your lineup.
Was this on the email? I didn't see that.
No, it wasn't. I just thought of it.
That's why
they've carried you.
I read it.
We actually got him off script. They've carried you obviously offensively, but not every time, but when you've needed an inning, a seventh inning, sixth inning kind of big game from a pitcher, Eovaldi's been your guy, and you've needed that a lot in the second half of the season. And I just think that he's been the one reliable pitcher on your staff all season long, and he's had some really big, nice games when you've needed him. So valuable. He probably doesn't beat out a Devers or a JD, but
Bogarts, I mean, he's right up there. He's got to be top three. I mean, you want to talk about a guy that I had no faith in at all coming into this season, has made every turn in the rotation. He's made every one of his starts. He's an all-star this year. He's still throwing 100 miles an hour late in games. Again, he's the only pitcher to go long for the Red Sox this year. So, I mean, he's got to be top three. He's probably definitely your number one MVP for your pitching staff. That's
you
sure.
sorry to interrupt you, but you keep throwing him out as the playing game starter over Chris Sale potentially.
Yeah, and I think just his track record at home in his last 8 starts, his ERA is under 1.5. He's got 3 wins there, and I mean he's pitched really, really good, and he's pitched very well against the Yankees in his career. And I just think at home, I mean that's the guy you want, because if you got
the Blue Jays, what if it's the Blue Jays?
Oh, yeah, at home. I mean, ideally, I want Chris Sale, but I think if he's not held 100% on the top of his game, it's a no-brainer to go to Eovaldi. And then if you win there, you have Sales, as a game 1 starter. It's just going to be tough. I do not want to see the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays are going to destroy the Red Sox. That offensive pitching staff is too good.
Well, let's see. 14 games is not a lot, but it's going to seem like an eternity to get there. It feels like. And long story short, if Chris Sale can come back here after the COVID and be as good as he was when he came back from the injury, you got 2 good starting pitchers. And if you're going to try and get a playing game and then start a series, that's good news for you. Real quickly here, we went through this a couple shows ago, but it's going to be important moving down the stretch. The best lineup moving forward for the Red Sox, Kyle Schwarber, in one of his few appearances at first base for the Red Sox,
number 5,
5th appearance, right? Cost the Red Sox the game in Seattle with just one of the simplest plays, worst errors I've seen in a long time. I don't necessarily blame Kyle Schwarber. The guy's never fucking played first base. He's been in the league for 10 years. They just decided to throw him over there, but he cost them the game, which leads me to say, where should they play him? Bobby Dahlbeck, Bill, you brought this to our attention today, hitting 242 now on the year, on pace for 30 home runs, consistently in the 6th spot of the lineup. Seems like a reliable bat that has moved away from strikeout run guy.
You remember our Dahlbeck watch when it was 202? He's 242. I mean, he's showing confidence. He's hitting home runs. I think he's got 25, 26. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but it's right up there. Ray, look it up, please. But I mean, they moved him up. He was batting 9. Now you got a legitimate threat with Renfroe, Dahlbeck. I mean, you got even Schwarber in your lineup. I've actually liked him coming off the bench late in games. You saw him come up with 2 big hits and the both wins in Seattle. He had a bases clearing double in game 2, and then he added insurance runs in extra innings in the 3rd game. But he's been nice off the bench. 22. So I hope, yeah. So maybe not exactly 30, but
I have a lot more faith in Kyle Schwarber coming off the bench as a pinch hitter than Brian Dahlbach. And when we say pinch hitter,
Bobby.
I don't consider a Kyle Schwarber a pinch hitter as a guy that comes in situationally. I look at him as an offensive substitute, as if you would look at a defensive substitute.
He'll come in big spot. Like
so if you're down, or if you're down on a game, you run or two, you bring in Schwarber to juice your offense. Same defensively. Jose Iglesias, I think, is going to be the odd man out of this, even though I love fucking Iglesias.
I hope not. I'm telling you right now, I think he deserves to be there, and especially if you're going to sacrifice defense in the outfield. Right.
Well, let's look at the lineup real quick, because here's the odd man out. It's going to be Schwarber, Kike, Renfroe, or Iglesias, or Dahlbach. But you don't have anybody that can play first base. Brian Dahlbach basically has to play because he's the only guy that can play fucking first base.
Yeah, I mean, that's
the Schwarber mystery and trial going. The guy's got to play because he's the only guy that can play at first base defensively.
Well, and he's playing every day. His defense does suck, but I mean, right now he's hitting his way into the lineup. He's hitting right-handed pitching. He's hitting left-handed pitching. And again, he's hitting six. Like, you can't really go around him anymore. Iglesias probably does look like the odd man out. I don't mind him coming off the bench. You're going to pull Schwarber out late in games, and then you're going to start putting Kiki out in center field, and then Iglesias is your second baseman. But right now, the way they're playing it, dude, did you see his double play the other night, the backhand? He is just so fucking good defensively. And
he's so mad when they traded him 7 years ago
for Brad Peavy for the Detroit. Jake Peavy. Sorry, yeah, for Detroit. Jake Peavy and Brad Penny. I got him too confused. Yeah, it was Jake Peavy. They got him from Detroit. Yeah, they won his World Series. But what are you going to do? I mean, he's actually hitting to like almost 270. But that defense right now, and you're I'm sorry to ramble, but you're a team that's fucking terrible defensively, and he's the best, one of the best defensive shortstops in all of baseball. And now you're playing him at second base, and he's looking just as good, if not better, defensively than any other second baseman right now. It's hard to take him out of your lineup, but at the same time, Kiki's playing good, and then Schwarber again. I like him coming off the bench, honestly, and I feel like he's going to be more matchup dependent. Come in early in the game. Remember Pierce, Mitch Moreland, they kind of got in games early in the World Series and the playoffs in 2018. I kind of like to see that role because honestly, you're in the playoffs. You got to want to prevent runs, especially when your starters are only going 2-3 innings and getting pulled second, third time in the lineup. You're going to want to fucking low scoring games, and when you're that bad, Arroyo out, all this other shit. You got to play Iglesias. I would start him and figure it out and have Schwarber just kind of come in big moments and then go from there.
It's an interesting take. You might have talked me into it. I think the lineup has options. I think the lineup has good options for Cora to play with. It's all going to be pitching dependent.
But hold on, real quick. And then it's all
what their staff does and what their bullpen does, obviously.
And then the lineup, I swear to God, it's all dependent on Dahlbach right now, because if he's hitting like this, you can't take him out. But if he starts to falter, then he's out, and then you're riding the Kyle Schwarber experiment at first base. You're going to have to.
Good luck. I'd put Iglesias at first base before I might put Schwarber.
I'd put Devers there, and I'd probably move Iglesias. You could probably dabble him at third or something.
They're not going to, at this point, 14 games left in the season. Well, we'll see. We'll be keeping a close eye on it now that they're finally back to the East Coast. These fucking 10-15 games that ended like 3 o'clock.
It's ridiculous.
Who's watching that?
The last game was great because I could listen to it on the way home, and I was like, "This is awesome."
That was early, right? That was
a
game out
4:15.
4:15. It was a 4 getaway game is what they call it. I think.
Yeah. Getaway. Get away. All right, we are on Red Sox watch. That was a lot of baseball talk, right? Sorry. Patriots and Jets. Week 2 of the NFL season. Is that a new Wuhan?
Yep.
That you're wearing?
Ooh, I got mine upstairs.
Number 10. Jones himself, Mac Jones himself, the future. This kid just continues to soil Bill Belichick's pants all day long in front of a fucking camera, doesn't he? Like, have you been listening to this kid's pressers? He sounds like a mouse.
Robot? No, it's only a robot.
And he's just saying
everything. Oh yeah, Bill took him over. Someone wrote a column on it today. I forget who it was. NBC Boston or whatever it was. And it was like, yeah, you could tell he's a product of Bill now because all his press conferences are, I
don't know if he's a product of Bill because, like, Gronk, when you listen to Gronk talk, obviously he was a product of Bill. When
I
you
don't
listen
want to talk to Gronk. He's dead to me.
Sorry. When you listen to Mac Jones talk, he's got kind of his own little mannerisms and kind of sayings that he says. It's not like he's reading out of the Patriots handbook, and he hasn't been here long enough to start ad-libbing. I think this kid, I'm buying his act, is I guess my point. I think he is that kind of either robotic or like intense or.
I'm only buying his act if he wins some fucking football games.
Well, let's
this
talk
act's
about
gonna wear real thin if you keep losing to shit teams. All right.
Ray, are they beating the Jets? Why?
Yes, Bill Belichick's 21-6 against rookie quarterbacks, so he is going to destroy the Jets on Sunday.
Who was the last rookie quarterback that he destroyed? Can you guys remember that off the top of your head?
Tua Tagovailoa.
How can you still not get that name?
Josh Allen,
That was 2 years ago.
Sam Darnold. Those are guys that I'm trying to think. Yeah, it's been a while because again,
Mahomes.
He didn't destroy. I mean, he shut Mahomes out. He didn't destroy Mahomes. Mahomes threw for over 300 yards in every game. He also
wasn't a
Justin
rookie.
Herbert.
They play
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert. They played them last year. Yeah, good one.
Got it, Ray. There you go. The homer.
Or
can't
you go like Drew Lock or shit Denver quarterbacks or like this.
They weren't rookies. Herbert's the guy. Herbert's the answer. They destroyed Herbert as a rookie, as a good rookie. They destroyed him. So if anyone's on Ray's train, the homer train, that Bill Belichick still has the juice to destroy rookies, go look at the Justin Herbert tape and compare it, and we'll see if he can do that to.
Did you hear this
Wilson
though? Like
and his rich uncle selling off his fucking plane tickets.
Have you heard? They were talking about this on something, right? And it was every time he compliments a quarterback, if he could say he like makes the throws and doesn't like elaborate on it, it's him basically saying, "Yeah, we don't value this quarterback at all." Like he fucking sucks. Because like if you talk about like Rodgers and all these other guys, he goes into great details how great they are and all this other stuff, and all the other shitty guys, he's like, "Yep, he can make throws," and that's all he says. So that's basically him telling him like, "Yeah, we don't value you. You
So
guys."
what do you say about Wilson?
I don't listen to any of the press conference.
I haven't heard. Let's moving on to Mac Jones.
Why do I gotta listen to a press conference?
I have to imagine that the Belichick and McDaniels saw enough out of that Miami game from Mac Jones to take the training wheels off, have no limitations within the offense and within the play calling, and just play this game as if it was anybody else back there, a quarterback that they trusted. The Miami Dolphins are a good defense, not a great defense, but the number one defense in turnovers last year. They threw the kitchen sink at Mac Jones. If you listen to any of the experts there, the Bedards,
all 22, right? Is that what it is?
They threw every type of scheme and coverage and fake this, fake that at Mac Jones, and we saw what he did: 74% completion.
He was the third most bliss quarterback in the NFL last week.
Ray, you have to imagine they're going to open this offense up for the kid, and the Jets defense is ripe for the tight ends. We talked about it with Miami; it didn't really come quite to fruition like we thought so, but you got to expect a big game from Mac here against this Jets defense in the soft zone in the middle.
So the other report today too that I heard was that the Dolphins knew some of the plays that the Patriots were running, and if that's the case too, when Mac Jones looked that good against the Dolphins that knew what was coming at him, I pray for the Jets in New York because he's going to fucking light it up if they don't have it.
What do you mean they knew the plays?
The whole winking thing.
Go ahead, explain the wink. Do you want me to explain the wink?
You do it. You're better at articulating things. So go ahead.
There's a video that came out. Might have been.
I know. I heard the wink. I've heard about the wink, but I didn't know the backstory. I didn't.
Shut the fuck up,
Bill.
All right,
you talk. Good God. There's a video of Mac Jones under center calling the plays. He looks at Landon Roberts and gives him a wink. Like,
oh, fuck. I just got wet. Hold on.
Hey, Ray.
I'm wet.
Hey, Ray. Last night was grooming night. You know? That's what he gave him. And afterwards, it was, I think Mac Jones said, yeah, they called out our play. So I gave him a wink and said, yeah, you got it right. And probably completed a 16-yard out. So
no, it wasn't. It was a run play.
This fucking kid's got balls, man. He might sound like an absolute dink on the pressers, but he's got balls out there. Remember in practice against the Giants, this was his practice against inter-squad practice. They beat the defense for 2 touchdowns, and he was throwing deuces at Matt Judon, who's like probably the scariest motherfucker out there.
Nope. So would never have done that.
Dude, the whole team's like ranting and raving about this kid. It's a lot of hype surrounding it. Just back it up. That's all I'm saying. You know, I mean, this throw touchdowns wins some fucking games. Stop pissing away these games. And I know it was the running backs, but there's plays for you to make. You check down a lot when there's open receivers down the field. You heard it in fucking Zoe was saying it in the games, and you saw it. You got to start taking chances, make some throws, like these long fucking drives ending in field goals, score some fucking touchdowns, back up this hype, back up the little cockiness that you got. Let's go. This is a perfect team to get you rolling because you got a good team in New Orleans coming in. You know what I mean? So like, this is a team you can't overlook them. You need to have Mac Jones look like a competent quarterback. Stop wasting these 280-yard games in a touchdown where game you should have won, because this is a team you should beat up. And you need to win this game, and you need to roll this team. And he needs to look like a quarterback. Put him, as you said, Rich, put him in every situation, throw the kitchen sink at him, and let him complete some passes. Unleash these fucking tight ends. You don't wait until the second, third quarter to do it. Fourth quarter when Hunter Henry finally got involved. Let's go. Stop disguising what they're doing. Run some fucking routes and let them attack. You had Kendrick Bourne, 41% of the plays. That's kind of a joke. You spend pretty good money on him, and he's supposed to be one of the guys in your 3 wide receiver sets. That's it. I just don't like it. I want to see some more usage because I thought he made some plays. He's getting open. He's quick off the line. These are the guys that Mac Jones needs to have chemistry with and get him on the field. And this is the team. You should run and crush this team. You can throw on him and you can run on him.
I'd like to see switching gears a little bit. I agree with you, Bill. I think that they can go. We saw them 5 wide in the preseason. They went
5 wide in Miami, but only a few times.
We haven't seen 5 wide regularly in New England since 2000.
That's just a Tuesday at Irene's house.
That was a layup. That was a fucking layup.
Since probably 2017, since the Eagles Super Bowl. Since then, it's been tight running back formations. Yep, time to get rid of that shit. Give me some JJ Taylor, Ray. Let these passing backs get out there. Put your 2 tight ends and your 3 wide receivers, and let the kid fucking dice it up. I'm with Bill here. I think you can win games 28-24. You don't need to win them 17-16. Just it's 2021 in the NFL. Throw the fucking ball.
What you want to see what you have with him too? I mean, this is the perfect opportunity against the Jets. Bad Jets defense. See what you got. See what you got with the kid. Let him go out there. If he makes a mistake, see how he regroups afterwards. If he throws his first interception, see how he takes that and learns from it. Let this kid fucking. You need to see it because this is your future. And if it's not your future, you got 3 more years to be like, all right, now we need to address this. So that's my thought.
I agree with that, but I also disagree with the sentiment.
I disagree with everything Ray said just because.
I don't like the sentiment of let's try this and let's try that and let's work our way in and work. You should be fighting for the division this season. You should be taking every single game to win it. You're not good enough to treat these first 4 games like the preseason like you used to, and you're not bad enough to develop your team. You need to play every game to win. I don't care if you have a rookie quarterback right now. He just proved that he can be a competent quarterback to win you games. You have to go into every single game and win, not try this and try that. And
I agree. I'm not saying try
this and develop that. No, fucking win.
I'm saying take the training wheels off. Let him fucking go. Let him be an NFL quarterback, not a project that they're trying to do back there. Let him fucking go and sling the ball.
Well, you saw it more in the second half. I mean, he had 38 passes, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, they let him throw, and he needed every one of those 38 just to be driving for the end of the game. I mean, I think between 30 and 40 passes. I mean, if he's throwing 50 times a game, that's not good. You're losing those games, honestly, because you're playing catch up. Like you want him in that 30, 35, honestly, passing yard, and then just run it. You're a good running team.
But Bill, if you look at that game and the way they played that game, I'd be interested to see. First of all, I don't know if we can get this on the fly, but how many passes did he throw in the second half? I bet it's a big portion more than the first half. We know that it is. And if you just watch the game and the game flow, it didn't seem forced. It didn't seem like they were out of character. It was, we talked about this on our Tuesday show. It was the red zone. It was just the way that they managed the red zone and handled the red zone. They got conservative, or Mac Jones didn't take the shots that maybe he should have. So I'm not necessarily worried about the upcoming weeks against the Jets and Mac Jones. I'm just expressing my opinion on what I think they should do and what I think they will do. I honestly think that they'll open it up here. How about on the other side of the ball? Zach Wilson, number 2 overall pick. Bill's favorite
Bill's
rookie.
favorite rookie of all
This
time.
guy sucks.
Everyone is going bananas about his arm strength. I heard this stat too, that they were talking about how bad Zach Wilson got beat up, and he did get beat up pretty bad. I think they had him for like 4 or 5 hits on the quarterback. Yeah, Mac Jones took twice as many and looked twice as good. So I think
But he's also not a string bean.
I think that he can run around and make some plays, which is given the Patriots' troubles in the past. Corey Davis is a legit wide receiver. Kid, the guy's burned you.
He's burned you in the past too.
Jamison Crowder has burned you in the past. So there's a couple guys out there that I would keep an eye on, but I expect this defense to lock down. I expect this defense to lock down again against the rookie quarterback.
Starting left tackle's out for Jets on Sunday too. So rush, blitz. Do what you got to do, but get to Zach Wilson.
Yeah, they can't run the football either. I mean, I think they're Michael Carter there and Tevin Coleman. Tevin Coleman's washed up, and Michael Carter's a rookie. They still can't run it. And again, they just lost their best offensive lineman. They've lost every defensive lineman free agent they've brought in the last year. You know, they've tried to get everybody. They suck. You should be able for their defense is terrible. And then again, you should be able to get all over Zach Wilson. You should be getting all right, Zach Stupid Wilson.
Zach Wilson, yeah. What Quinnen Williams? Is it Quinnen or Quinnen?
Yeah, he was drafted third overall.
Yeah, he's
a couple years ago. He's disgusting, but everything else is they can't rush the quarterback. You know, their team is good. Their team has 2 decent wide receivers, and that's it. So I mean, cover those guys up and dare them run the football. But I still think you got it to a pretty good with just Matt Judon and Josh Uche. I expect them to double the pressures on fucking Zach Wilson.
Yeah. I'd like them to approach this game with the mentality that you can win scoring 30 as opposed to you can win scoring 20. And that's how I'd like to.
Get the confidence and have him run up the score too if you get the chance.
Both offensively and defensively, that's when the Patriots have been at their best in their history. Is going in thinking you're going to score 30 and they're going to score 20 and you win. So I think that you can do that against this team. All right, let's go to. Well, I'll give you. Obviously, we expect a cleaner game, less fumbles, hopefully no fumbles, less penalties for sure. I would be surprised if it was as sloppy a game as we saw in week 1. I think we're all expecting better than that. Some injuries to keep an eye on. Trent Brown and that calf. And has he been ruled out yet?
No,
but I don't think he was back in practice today.
He was not. Van Noy was also out. Ronnie Perkins and Kajus was also dealing with some things. And then on the
Jonnu Smith's eliminated from practice today, so he got added to the injury report late. But
Jalen Mills, Duggar, Aguilar, and Quinn Nordine.
I think the only guy to worry about is Trent Brown. I think everybody else will be playing.
He didn't participate yesterday, Wednesday or Thursday. So
yeah, he's out. So
probably out. Yeah.
Justin Herron and
same with Van Noy, didn't participate Wednesday or Thursday, so he's out. But
Hightower,
everyone else was limited practice, so they're probably going to be.
I'd be surprised if Van Noy was out.
If he didn't participate, Wednesday or Thursday. So
Bill's got a thing. If he's because Friday's a walkthrough. He'll be back. He'll be questionable. He'll limited participation in the walkthrough, but I don't expect him to play if he's missed those 2. It's just something Bill does.
Yeah.
Especially this early in the season. It's week 2, bro.
Yeah, bro.
I don't know about that. I think that there's been plenty of guys that don't practice and play, especially considering the veteran.
Just saying, it's just usually the norm with double.
What's
B's.
the predictions? What do you got there? Give me a score. We all expect the Pats to win. How big?
28-17.
I'll give him 31-17.
Ooh. I'll go 24-14. Lower end. All right. Let's finish this up with some more NFL talk. A couple other tidbits to get on before we end the show. Did you guys catch the overtime game on Monday nights? Ravens and Raiders. What a fucking debacle on both ends of that game. First of all, I don't know if you guys saw John Gruden came out and said he couldn't find the fucking kicker. They wanted to kick the field goal. They couldn't find.
Yeah, they took the delay game.
So Derek Carr just threw up a bat-footed fucking Hail Mary, essentially. And the Ravens let it happen. And they let it happen after Lamar Jackson fumbled the ball away. This kid's not a winner. Toot. Give me Kyler Murray. Been saying it for years. Lamar Jackson will never win a goddamn thing. And he's regressing, right? That's the word. He's regressing. The guy won MVP, and he's been mediocre to
bad
of the league quarter, not bottom of the league, but he's been a mediocre quarterback ever since.
Who can I ask you a question? Who do you think has more 300-yard passing games in their career? Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts?
Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts.
Enough said.
Thank you.
That's a tough stat to come back from, Lamar.
2-1. 2-1, and he's been a starter for like 4 years now. Once has he thrown for 300 yards.
Oh, yeah, but he's got all this. Yeah. Lamar Jackson. Hey, anyone believing in Lamar, good luck. That's all I got to tell you. And just watch him. Watch the games. Watch his body language. Watch his facial expressions. He's a fucking loser.
They're on their 12th set of running backs. They just Le'Veon Bell, Latavius Murray, Devontae Freeman, and some corpse of Tyson Williams.
There you go.
I don't know.
He scored.
Yeah. So
the Buffalo Bills are the latest to require a vaccination from fans to get into the stadium. Ironic because their number 2 or 3 wide receiver, Cole Beasley, is leading the charge against vaccinations, who's also in the building. Just thought it was funny. Buffalo Bills. This I mentioned this. I think you guys were on board with this fucking COVID stuff. The Bills might be a little squirrely this year. I honestly think that they might be a little bit squirrely this year.
They could be. I mean, because they're one of the least vaccinated team. Them Minnesota is up there too. So I mean, yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the driving factors in Cam Newton got cut, because I think it puts too much question marks into your quarterback situation. And it's funny that Mac Jones and Brian Hoyer got rid of their masks right after all that something went on. So it's like, it's kind of weird like that. So I mean, you have to take it into consideration. I mean, requiring the fans is one thing. The players, I mean, you heard New York City, like the Knicks basketball players, shit like that, they got to be vaccinated in there. Fuck it. So I mean, it could easily start crumbling these teams.
To stay away from whether it's right or wrong to require it, just the idea that if you're the Bills and you start losing, whether it's because of COVID or not, and there's this kind of underbelly of like, you guys are refusing to get vaccinated, you could be popped any day, we might not have you for the game, and everyone's kind of riding that stress fence, and you lose a couple games, that's the type of thing that could implode a locker room and send a team that was expected to go to the Super Bowl to fighting for the division, losing the division, and losing in a wild card round.
Can I ask you a question?
A very realistic track for a team like that.
So say Buffalo just kind of gets fed up with Cole Beasley and they cut him. You take it on the Patriots?
Yep.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure. Snip, snap, snip, snap.
Snip, snap, snip, snap. Actually, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Josh, here's a guy we could talk about taking back in the Patriots. Josh Gordon is back and from the back. How many times has he been reinstated? Is this the 6th or 7th back? 6th or 7th back.
He's played 14 games or 13 games.
He's still on his rookie contract, isn't he?
No.
That'd be amazing.
I don't think so.
Real quickly.
I think the last season with the Patriots, remember, he played a lot of he played 10 or 11 games one year. You only really have to get in 6 or 7. You have to, you know what I mean? Because there was, when he got suspended that one year with Cleveland, he got suspended for 10 games, came back. He had to play all 6, and they suspended him for the last game of the season because he was drinking on the team plane or some shit. So his contract rolled, but he played 10 games for the Patriots their Super Bowl year.
Patriots gave him a contract. They gave him a 1 year.
Yeah, they signed him a 1-year deal. He's been off his rookie deal, and then Seattle re-upped him last year when then he got popped again last year.
Either way, he's making less than he made on his rookie deal. That's all you need to know. Let me just get this off my chest. Simone Biles.
How does he have money?
He probably doesn't.
I have no idea about that.
The U.S. gymnastics women's team and Simone Biles went in front of Congress today to testify against Larry Nassar and the FBI about not, taking their allegations seriously against the sexual abuse and good for them. Obviously, Larry Nassar's a fuckbag. Send him to the prison that hates pedophiles and watch him go bye-bye. And these FBI credence that didn't take anything seriously or didn't do their jobs correctly, fuck them too. Fire them, send them all to jail. But the lack of outrage from these fucking Twitter moms that went bananas when she quit at the Olympics. Where are you now? Where are you now, you hero worshipers? Where the fuck are you now when they actually need you? When they actually need you to put pressure on the U.S. Gymnastics organization and U.S. Olympics organization and the FBI? Where the fuck are you now? You're in your little coffee shop saying how brave they are to get in front of Congress. Fuck these fucking people and fuck Twitter. I just needed to get off my chest. You want to talk about heroic? Not quitting in the Olympics, going in front of fucking Congress, going in front of Congress and telling the FBI, fuck them. That's brave. That's brave. That cancels careers and fucking lives. And these girls did it. Good for them. That was awesome to see. And fuck all these Twitter moms that were bitching at people telling them it wasn't heroic to quit in the Olympics. Go ahead, Bill.
They backed her when she lied. That's it. Now they don't. Fake outrage.
She did lie in the Olympics, by the way. She said it was mental health. That was wrong of her to say. She made a mistake. I don't hold that against her. This girl's fucking awesome. She's a big thing here. And good for her. I support her 100%.
Hero. She's a fake hero.
No, she's not. She's a real hero for this. She's not for quitting the Olympics.
Yeah.
And then real quick, sticking to real heroes, little tater tits on the pitch. The U.S. women's soccer team have been offered the same contract as the men's U.S. soccer team. I throw it over to you, Tater Tits, as one who is not in favor of this for your own reasons. Anything to say?
Whoop-de-doo.
Good for them. It's about fucking time. They've been carrying the U.S. soccer team. They've been carrying U.S. soccer for like 30 years now. The men's team's a fucking joke. Yeah, I mean, they might not bring in the viewership, but they're a powerhouse for the world. Pay them what they fucking want and what they deserve. They're winning gold medals throughout the Olympics. Yeah, they didn't have bad fucking Olympics, but they're winning World Cups. Can
I ask you a question real quick?
Yep.
All right. I have two tickets.
Hold on.
No, hold on.
Let me get my thing on the mute button. Go.
I have two tickets. One for the men's World Cup and one for the women's World Cup. What?
This has been the Simple Minds Sports Show. Friday headlines, September 17th. We will see you on Sunday for early lines. Based on last week, you might want to fade us. But we were good last year, so keep an eye on it. We'll see you on Sunday for early lines. Bye-bye.
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 And your answer, Bill?
Oh, I'd go see the women.
You fucking liar. You're just on Rich's side because you don't want him to make you cry tonight.
Who's playing?
Men's soccer is fucking stupid, dude. They suck.
Women's World Cup. Do I have to go to every men's game, U.S. men's game or U.S. women's game?
U.S.
Or
women's
it's just the World Cup?
World Cup.
Then you go to the men's World Cup because you get to see the Argentinas and the Germanys of the world who are good. The men's U.S. team sucks. They fucking suck. If you give me tickets and I have to go watch every U.S. men's team game versus every U.S. women's game, I'm going to the women's.
Rich, that's a trick question. The U.S. men's team will never make the World Cup.
What? They go to the World Cup.
I don't understand why Doughboy is dying on this hill. Like,
I hate Rapinoe. I hate Megan Rapinoe. I don't give a fuck.
So do I, but give them what they fucking deserve. They've been carrying U.S. soccer for 30 fucking years.
There's 20 other something girls on that fucking
Who's
team.
that chick that whipped her tits out? Brandi Chastain?
There you go.
They're saggy now. That was a long time ago.
It doesn't matter, That was almost 30 fucking years ago.
She was paid in sports bras. They didn't even give her money to play, probably.
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 Yeah, you're an idiot, Ray. Good for them. Glad they got this.
You're just realizing this now?
No, we realize it our whole lives, but we just need to stress it daily.
Perfect.
It's good to reiterate.